Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are plunging headfirst into, well, a really fascinating corner of the internet. Some people are calling it smart money AI. And our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack and maybe verify some pretty compelling claims. They're coming from a recent YouTube video.
Okay.
It outlines this blueprint, basically, for creating incredibly lucrative finance channels using, you guessed it, artificial intelligence.
It's AI again. It's everywhere.
Exactly. So the big question we're trying to answer is this truly a good, a viable way to earn money online? Or is it just another digital pipe dream?
A very important question.
Wait a
Because if
minute.
it works,
Okay, let's unpack this then. We're diving deep into the insights shared by a YouTube channel called AI Maskman. The video is titled, How I Create Finance Videos on YouTube and Make Money Online.
that's right. And for anyone even slightly interested in online income, the core question we're tackling here is exactly that. Is this a real path to earning significant money online? And maybe more importantly, what are the details, the mechanics, and what are the hidden nuances behind using AI for content, especially in a niche like finance? It's critical, sensitive stuff.
Definitely. We need to get past the flashy headlines.
Understand the practicalities, yeah.
And speaking of flashy, when we talk about the finance niche, AI Maskman makes some seriously bold claims right out of the gate.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
They state that finance is, apparently, the only niche on YouTube with the highest CPM. That's cost per 1,000 views.
The only one. That's a big statement.
Huge. And they're talking a potential CPM of up to $50 per 1,000 views.
$50. Wow. Okay, that's eye-watering compared to most niches like gaming or vlogging.
Absolutely.
So what's the reasoning? Why so high?
Well, the source explains it like this.
Yeah.
If your videos are about finance, the ads shown will also be finance-related.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, logical.
And the key insight, according to AI Maskman, is that financial institutions think banks, investment firms, that sort of thing, have really deep pockets to spend on advertising.
Right, big companies, big budgets. But it's more than just that, isn't it? I mean, lots of companies have money.
True. What else do you think is going on there?
Well, I think the real insight here is the intent of the audience watching those videos. Someone searching for, say, how to start investing with $500 isn't just browsing for fun.
No, they're actively looking for information. They might be ready to act.
Exactly. They're in a high-intent decision-making mindset. And that specific kind of audience, engaged and financially minded, is incredibly valuable to advertisers, much more than someone just watching cat videos.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh,
It's about the quality of the view, not just the quantity.
precisely. It's about converting that high-intent traffic. That's what drives the premium ad spend. So even if you get what seems like low views compared to a viral entertainment channel,
Those views can actually bring in significant income because each one is worth so much more.
exactly, in this specific context anyway.
And AI Maskman doesn't just leave it at theory. They give specific examples to, motivate people, show that it's real.
Okay, like who?
Well, take the Swedish investor. Apparently, this channel has over 800,000 subscribers. Some popular videos, over 4 million views.
Impressive numbers.
And here's the kicker. The source claims that whatever income estimators like Social Blade might say.
Ah, yes, the guessing game tools.
Right. They claim the Swedish investor is making a lot more than those sites suggest.
That's interesting. It highlights how opaque ad revenue can actually be and how those third-party sites might underestimate, especially in high CPM niches.
And they don't stop there. They also mention Practical Wisdom, another finance channel.
Let me guess, big numbers too.
Yep. Over a whopping 1 million subscribers. Popular videos hitting more than 10 million views. Again, claimed income is huge.
Wow, okay, so the potential seems massive, at least according to these examples. But is it just ads?
That's a great point. No, the source explicitly says you can make double amount from brand sponsorship and affiliate marketing.
Ah, the other income streams. That's crucial.
Yeah, by promoting things like financial wallets, financial tracking tools, etc., relevant products.
Exactly. So it's this layering effect. You've got the high CPM ad revenue, then sponsorships on top, then affiliate commissions. That combination, that's where the really significant income potential probably lies.
Makes sense. The audience is already interested in finance, so they're likely more receptive to those kinds of offers too.
Highly receptive, I'd imagine. Which makes those initial CPM claims feel a bit more grounded when you factor in the total income potential. But it also brings up a question about diversification.
How so?
Are these channels truly diversified? Or are they still super reliant on YouTube ad revenue, which we know can fluctuate wildly sometimes? That's a risk.
Good point. Okay, so the appeal is clear. High potential income, finance niche, AI making it seem easy.
Right.
But how easy? How do you actually do it?
The million-dollar question, right?
AI Maskman lays out this streamlined process, AI assisted, for creating these faceless finance YouTube channels.
Yeah.
It sounds almost like an assembly line.
An AI-powered production line. That phrase itself makes me wonder, how much human is really needed in a faceless process like this, especially for finance content?
Yeah, where trust and accuracy are paramount.
Can you really automate that without losing credibility? Or worse, introducing errors?
Well, let's look at their steps. Step 1, selecting topics and micro niches.
Okay.
The source points out correctly that the finance niche is huge, so many categories. So for new creators, they say it's vital to understand all the categories and subcategories to find your spot.
Makes sense. You can't cover everything. And this is where the AI comes in right away.
Yep. AI Maskman suggests using ChatGPT for this. You basically open it up and ask it.
Let me guess. Something like,
I would like to start a faceless YouTube channel on the finance niche. Could you help me out in segregation into micro niches like personal finance, insurance, banking, etc., and so on? Ask it to list categories and sing categories.
wow. So AI does the initial brainstorming and market mapping for you.
They're
That's
not right.
incredibly efficient, like having a research assistant on tap.
Cuts down the research time massively.
But again, does it just spit out the obvious stuff? Or is there real insight there? Is it just reflecting what's already popular?
That's the question. Okay, so once you have potential micro niches, you need actual video ideas. The source gives two main options here.
Right.
First, trending topics. Things like new government schemes, stock analysis, or information about the trending stocks. Hot topics.
Okay, things that get a quick burst of attention.
Exactly. They give a lot of views for a short period, like 8, 10, or 15 days. Then it fades. Quick hits.
Got it. And the second option?
Searchable or evergreen content. These are the topics that people are always searching for. They will always get views, leading to consistent views over the long haul.
Right, the foundational stuff, like how to start investing with $500 or how to start budgeting.
Exactly, those examples. And how do you find these? Pretty practical methods.
Let's hear them.
Use incognito mode on your browser and start typing in YouTube search. See what suggestions pop up.
Smart. Shows real user search behavior.
Or use the vidIQ Chrome extension. It apparently shows trending topics and gives them scores for volume and competition.
Ah, using tools to get data. Makes sense.
And for evergreen stuff, just look at any popular channel in your niche. See which of their videos keep getting views month after month.
So analyze the competition's long-term winners. Okay, that's solid advice. It seems like a trade-off then. Trending for quick visibility, evergreen for stability.
Yeah, the source implies a mix might be good, especially for a new channel.
Right.
Trending gets eyes on you, evergreen builds that foundation.
Makes sense.
All right, step 1 done. Niche picked, topic found. Step 2, generating scripts with AI.
Here we go. The core AI part.
Now, they do say if you're an expert, sure, write your own script.
Yeah.
But quoting here, in this era of AI, why waste so much time and energy?
So let ChatGPT be your scriptwriter.
Basically, yeah. Your personal finance content guru on demand. Probably cheaper too.
Yeah, maybe initially. So how does that work, according to them?
You ask ChatGPT to give video ideas on your selected niche. Pick one. Then ask for a complete YouTube video script.
Yeah.
Specify you want it engaging and in simple language.
And it just writes it, scene descriptions and all.
Apparently so. The source notes it provides a script with scenes, and you can adjust length or whatever.
Okay, efficiency-wise, that's undeniable. But this is where my critical thinking alarm bells start ringing, especially for finance.
Also,
Well, how much human vetting is needed? Financial accuracy is non-negotiable. Can AI hallucinate bad advice? Can it provide advice that's too generic to be useful or misses crucial nuances?
that's a huge risk, yeah.
You can't just blindly trust the AI output for financial guidance, surely. The content itself needs a deep dive, not just the creation process.
But wait, there's a really important detail AI Maskman adds here. Something I think is vital.
Yeah.
You copy the AI script to Google Docs, and then you add a personal touch so it will not look like an AI-generated script.
Yeah, okay, that's critical.
Yeah.
That personal touch.
It's not just about sounding less robotic,
Right.
It's about adding that layer of authority, maybe correcting things, ensuring it's actually good advice.
Exactly. It's the human editor acting as the quality control, the sense maker for the AI. Especially in finance, that human oversight, that validation feels absolutely essential. It bridges the gap between generic output and trustworthy information.
Couldn't agree more. That step seems non-negotiable.
Absolutely. Okay, so script is generated and hopefully human reviewed. What's next? Step 3.
Step 3, creating realistic voiceovers. So for these faceless channels, you need audio. Two main options.
Let me guess. Your own voice or AI voice?
Bingo. Use your own voice if you're up for it and have a decent mic.
Huh?
Or use an AI tool. They specifically mention ElevenLabs.
ElevenLabs, yeah,
I've heard
heard of it. Known for pretty realistic voices.
They say it generates human-like voiceover. The process sounds pretty simple.
How simple?
Go to the voice library on ElevenLabs, filter by category like informative and education, pick the gender, age, and language you want.
Okay.
Paste in your script, hit generate. Boom. Done.
Wow. And the quality?
Play an example. The top 5 financial mistakes to avoid in your 20s and 30s. And yeah, the source claims it sounds remarkably natural.
That really does lower the barrier to entry, doesn't it? No need for voice acting talent or expensive equipment. Just copy, paste, click.
Pretty much.
The implication, though, if everyone starts using these super realistic AI voices, how do you stand out? Does everything start to sound the same? Might make building a unique channel identity harder.
That's a future problem, maybe.
Yeah.
For now, voiceover done. Script ready. Step 4, video editing. This is where it all comes together visually. They recommend Canva and CapCut.
Okay, popular tools. First, Campbell.
Yeah, for the main visual content, upload your voiceover, add it to the timeline. Then go to the design tab, search finance maybe, find ready-made templates.
So pre-made intros, outros, title cards, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Change the text to match your video topic. Easy customization.
And for the actual video clips, stock footage.
Yep. Go to Elements in Canva, search for related footages based on your script. If you're talking success, search success.
And Canva has its own library, or do you need external sites?
Both. Canva has a lot, but they also mention free sites like Pexels if you don't have a paid Canva account.
Got it. Any other Canva tips?
Yeah, adjust video speed to sync with your voiceover. Crucial for timing, animate text to make it more engaging, and add background music from the YouTube audio library.
Music choice matters, I bet.
They suggest calm, simple music. And importantly, keep the volume low, like 8 to 10%, so it doesn't overpower the voiceover.
Good tip. Okay, so Canva gets the basic structure and visuals done, then CapCut.
Yep, for the final polish. Export from Canva, import into CapCut.
And what does CapCut add?
A couple of key things. Use its split screen feature.
Yeah.
Apparently, it automatically splits the video into scenes based on the Canva export.
Oh, that sounds like a huge time saver. Automatically detecting cuts?
Seems like it. Then you can easily add transitions between those clips. They mention a light glitch effect as an example. Makes it look smoother, more dynamic.
Nice. Adds a professional touch without much effort. What else?
Auto captions.
Yeah.
Crucial for accessibility and engagement these days.
Definitely. How does that work in CapCut?
Select the language, hit create. Then you can customize the look, fonts, colors, animations for the captions.
Okay, so this whole Canva to CapCut workflow, it really streamlines things. Automated scene splitting, easy transitions, auto captions.
It makes producing a pretty polished-looking video seem incredibly fast.
Yeah, the accessibility for rapid production is remarkable. Someone with almost zero editing experience could follow these steps and get a decent video out quickly.
For sure.
But if the barrier to entry is that low, how do you differentiate? If everyone's using the same tools, the same AI, the same templates, how does your channel stand out in this flood of AI-generated content?
That's the million-dollar question again, isn't it? So who is this AI Maskman? Giving all this advice, just some random YouTuber.
Good question. What are their credentials, according to the source?
Well, the video claims they have over 10 years of experience in content creation. Started as a video editor.
Okay, so a background in the nuts and bolts.
Then managed big channels for my clients, from content planning to publishing videos. Grew their own channel, and now manages 5 more channels on different niche.
Okay, that background does lend quite a bit of credibility, you have to admit. It's not just theory. It sounds like practical, hands-on experience scaling things up.
Yeah, it frames the advice as coming from someone who's actually done it, navigated the YouTube space.
It does. Though you could argue that experience in traditional content creation doesn't perfectly map onto this new AI-driven model. Are there unique challenges with AI financial content that maybe aren't covered by that past experience? Like the ethics, the accuracy checks, the speed at which AI tools change?
That's fair. It's a rapidly evolving field. And interestingly, they also offer a coaching program.
Ah, of course. Monetizing the knowledge.
Says they're taking 5 new people this month. Live calls, teaching the AI content business, plus 1 year of support directly from myself through Skype.
Right. So it's not just sharing tips. It's a business model built around teaching others to replicate this success. The classic online course mentorship playbook, but with an AI angle, adds another layer to why they're sharing this blueprint.
Definitely. And to show what this AI content actually looks like, they include a demo video in the tutorial.
Okay, what's the topic?
Top 5 financial mistakes to avoid in your 20s and 30s.
Classic practical finance topic. What were the examples like?
Well, the first mistake mentioned was overspending. Solution: create a budget and stick to it, track your expenses. Standard advice.
Makes sense. Straightforward.
Second mistake: not saving for emergencies. Advice: aim for at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. Again, solid, common advice.
So it shows the AI can generate practical, actionable content, which is good, but it also sounds potentially quite generic, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not exactly groundbreaking financial insight.
Right, and that's the question. Can AI, at least currently, offer the truly nuanced, personalized, or deeply insightful advice someone facing complex financial situations might really need? Or is it stuck at this level of, solid but basic information?
A critical question. So wrapping this up, we've gone through a pretty fascinating blueprint: AI-driven, faceless finance channels on YouTube. The claims about high CPMs are definitely attention-grabbing, and the step-by-step process they lay out using tools like ChatGPT, ElevenLabs, Canva, CapCut, it makes it seem remarkably accessible.
It really does. So what does this all mean for you listening, for the online content world? This blend of AI automation and a high-value niche like finance, it's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
On one hand, it massively lowers the barrier to entry, makes content creation seem almost like running a factory, fast, efficient production.
But is it sustainable? Is it scalable for the average person to make real money this way, especially relying so heavily on AI for financial advice?
That's the core issue. Can AI consistently deliver the accuracy, the nuance, the ethical considerations that are absolutely demanded in finance? What happens when it gets something wrong, even subtly?
Or what happens when thousands of channels pop up using the exact same blueprint, pumping out similar-sounding AI-voiced videos?
Exactly. Does it just become noise? So it leaves you, the listener, with a really provocative thought, I think.
What's that?
How does this model fundamentally change things? Not just making money online, but financial education itself. Does it democratize it?
Well,
Let anyone share knowledge?
Or does it raise serious questions about authenticity, oversight, the risk of flooding the internet with generic, maybe even misleading AI-generated financial advice?
It's a powerful tool, this AI, no doubt. But like
Yeah.
any powerful tool.
Its impact really depends on how it's used and who's using it. Something to definitely mull over as you think about this whole smart money AI landscape.